In today's mental health check, you probably know somebody who's always late, right? Maybe that person might even be you or me. Chronic lateness is often seen as a sign of poor time management or laziness, but experts say it can also be sometimes a sign of something called time blindness. Time blindness is not a formal diagnosis, but it is linked to certain mental health disorders like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD. Joining us now to talk about it is clinical psychologist Jennifer Hartstein. I have to be honest, I had not heard of this concept of time blindness before, but it's the idea that you just, well, you tell me what it is.
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? It's exactly almost what it says. It's like you kind of become totally immune to understanding the concept of time. So you don't leave enough time for a project, or you overestimate the amount of time it will take for you, or you just get kind of wrapped up and distracted by it, so you just lose focus and are like, oh my gosh, I forgot I have to leave at 6, and maybe you start at 5:45 and you forget that, you know, it'll take you more than 15 minutes.
And then we mentioned in the lead that there may be this link to certain developmental disorders like ADHD.
Absolutely, because time blindness fundamentally is like an executive functioning deficit. And we know, especially with ADHD, you lose this kind of strong ability to plan and organize, and your frontal cortex isn't functioning the best. So it makes sense that it would be in that. But there are other ones too. Depression can be a factor, motivation, feeling sad, having a hard time getting started. Anxiety can be a mental health challenge that could be part of this. You maybe get overly anxious, OCD, you know, autism spectrum disorder, and then some physical manifestations, multiple sclerosis, traumatic brain injuries, Parkinson's. So there's a lot of different physical and mental kind of ways that it can present itself.
So there's a lot of different reasons why you might actually be sort of wired to not have that executive functioning. So for all of us who have been late, I mean, I'm not always late, but I'm late a lot, to be honest. And I think my problem is I don't allow enough, I underestimate how long it's going to take.
Which is what I think that's what most of us do.
So what are the tips? What can we do to practically manage
our time?
Yeah,
so I think time management is a lost art, and I do think that we're so distracted by so many other things now, and I think women especially carry such a cognitive load that we're like, 17 things I have to do before I can walk out the house. So first thing first, like, create a schedule, create routines, figure out what can you do that's easier, right? Can you use schedules, calendars, planning apps, anything, alarms, any of that. And I think the one thing that we want to remember is kind of think it, do it, right? Don't delay things till later, because then all of a sudden you're scrambling and you can't, and you have to run out the door, and that's what makes us late.
Long ago, I read a tip somewhere that said, like, if something just got sent to you and you're like, oh, I'm going to do it, like, just do it right that second. And I've actually been trying to do that more, because then you don't forget. If you're a parent and you notice that your child maybe is having trouble, especially as we get into back to school season, what are some tips on how to help a kid?
So routines are elemental across the board. What's the morning routine? What's the bedtime routine? Because you really kind of prep for the next day the night before. So what's our routine? Do we get our backpacks ready? Do we get our stuff ready? Make visuals. Do I have a calendar that everybody can see? Do I have something for my littler guys that has pictures of what they have to do and they can check it off? But make it as simple as possible and as consistent as possible, and then it becomes kind of part of our daily life, and we know that we can do it every day.
Is there a time when you might want to seek out more help? Like if it's at a certain level, maybe you want to get professionals involved?
Yes, I think that we know most of the time, we've talked about this, Kate, right? Like it's when it's starting to really interfere with our daily lives, and it's becoming problematic in our relationships. It's becoming problematic at my job. It's interfering with my ability to fully function. And maybe all these things that I've tried, like the self-help strategies I find online, they're just not working. Go to an executive functioning coach, a therapist, somebody that can really help you build out those skills.
Jen Hartstein, always great to have you. There is much more news ahead. You're watching NBC News Daily.